Hello, my crafty friends. Today's crafts are in collaboration with many wonderful crafters, hosted by Broke Girl Aesthetics and Freckled Mom. More on that later in the video. Let's start crafting. So for this first video, I am using this chipped up plate, some cracked up glasses, and this piece that came from a broken down chair. I kept all the little rings and stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm putting on some E6000 and some glue gun, and then I'm going to hold it there in place with some tape just until it sets up. Then I'm going to turn it over, and taking those two mugs, I'm going to place them in where I'd like to be, and then finding all these little broken pieces from a plate, I'm going to pick the one that I like. First, using my E6000 for that long-term hold, and then also using my glue gun for that short-term hold, I place them both in place. Making sure that they're close to the top, but also both making sure that they are going to adhere to the plate well. If you are new here and coming from another channel, hi, welcome. Love having you here. Please hit that subscribe button, like this video, and don't forget to turn on that notification bell. It sure does help my channel out. Now that I've glued on the two cups, I'm going to take this little broken piece of glass and I'm going to glue that on the same way as I did the other stuff. Right in the middle there, I'm going to stick it in and squish it down. Then putting that side to dry, I'm going to show you how I did the second one in a faster motion. Basically the same way, taking that wood rung from a chair, and I didn't bother painting them because I actually kind of liked the way they looked, kind of rustic and old. I place on the mugs, I place on the nose, and the only different thing I did for this one is I gave this one ears, using the same broken pieces of plate. This is a super easy, super quick craft to make. The only thing you have to wait for is for the glue to dry. After they were all dried and ready, I took the tape off of the back and I set them up in my vegetable garden bin for now. And this is how they look. Cute little tiny owls made from plates and mugs and broken pieces of glass. I absolutely love it. All of this stuff was destined for the trash, but I reused them. Let's talk about our hosts, Broke Girl Aesthetics and Freckled Mom. They are two very talented crafters. They sent out a video inviting any small YouTuber that has less than 1,000 subscribers to join in. Today's video is all about reducing, recycling, and reusing. I will link both crafters' pages in the description box, along with the playlist, where you will get to see many other creative crafters doing their thing. Now on to the next craft. So I have this magazine holder. It's in pretty bad shape. It's falling apart there, but it looked to be an easy fix. And I was wondering, what can I do with it? So then I was watching another YouTuber's video. Her name is Trish from the Crafting Cousins. And she took one of these and redid it over for her flip-flops at her entrance door. And I thought, what an awesome idea. Taking a magazine rack or holder and switching it into a different holder. And I thought, I have slippers all over the house. My slippers, the husband's slippers. I have 3 boys, they have slippers, and they're constantly all over the house. So I thought, let's make something similar to what Trish made at the Crafting Cousins. So I repaired that one piece, and then I took it outside and gave it a good coat of white spray paint. Then I found this chalkboard on a little stand at my local Dollarama here, and I figured, yep, I think I'll use this as a little nameplate on the front. But first, we got to draw on the words, and I used just a regular pencil and I sketched on my words, and then I painted them all in white paint. With a fine brush and just very little paint on my brush, I just traced over the words to fill them in and make them stand out. I don't make you watch the whole thing of me doing the letters, just the first two. Don't worry, we'll skip over the rest. Putting my sign aside to dry, I then take some sandpaper and I distress or rough up this magazine holder, which is now going to be a slipper holder. And in just the spots where it would normally have some wear and tear on it, I just lightly sand in those areas and bring out that natural wood just a bit, just to give it a little more distressing in there. Then with some black paint and a dry chippy brush, which has like super dry, I dry brush the black paint all over, which we're now going to call a slipper bin. Little out of frame right there, but you'll see me come across with the black paint soon. There I am. And I do the entire holder. Now that everything is dry, it's time to place on my sign. I use wood glue and my hot glue gun, and just on the rungs where it sits, I just add a few dabs of the wood glue and a few dabs of the hot glue and place it on and let it dry. This is another super easy craft to do. It's basically taking something that is old and making it new. I really enjoy having it because now it corrals all my slippers all in one area. And we're done. That's all. And there it is, set up in my entryway with slippers in it. I like it. It really complements the entryway with slippers. They're not all over the place. On to the last craft. Taking this tin, it used to have fruit in it. It was like a mixed fruit tin. And just using this popsicle stick, I'm just using it to have the width of it. I'm going to draw lines all the way around the tin, just using a black Sharpie marker. Then taking my tin snips, I cut along those lines all the way down to the bottom, as close as I can get. This took a little bit, and you got to be careful because those edges are sharp, but I eventually got all the way down to the end. Now that everything is cut, careful it's sharp, I take all those pieces and I bend them outwards, forming petals. Have you guessed what we're making yet? Now it's time to paint. I give the entire, what we're going to call now a flower, a coat of white paint. The reason why I do this, it helps to have the other paint adhere better to the tin, and I won't have to do as many coats. And now taking the yellow, I'm going to paint all those petals yellow. I don't make you watch me do the whole thing, just a few petals. I'm sure you know how to paint the petals. Now taking some orange and some brown. I wanted kind of like a burnt orange look. So I took the two and I mixed it together and kept adding until I got the desired color I was looking for. Could you imagine if in real life you actually went that fast? That would be kind of fun. Now taking that paint, I paint the inside of the flower. Dog hair. Always have dog hair. Now that we're done that, I take a dry brush, dab into the same color of brown, orangey brown, and I just lightly go over those ridges on the can just to give it a little more depth in color. The yellow is still wet, so it helped it to mute and blend in really nicely. I know it's hard to see on here, but it's actually really cool. After that is done, I take a little bit of black and a very tiny paintbrush, and I put little dots all over the inside of that flower, making it look like the seeds of a sunflower. All the way around. Taking this paint stir stick that I had in my stash, I just go and I paint the entire thing brown. Front, back, sides, and end. This we're going to use, and we're going to glue it to the back of this flower. I'm going to use E6000 and my glue gun. The glue gun and metal don't hold as good, but with the E6000 it'll give it that long-term hold. Putting it in 2 separate spots and pushing it down onto the back. And there we have a tin sunflower. I then take it outside and I give it a good coat of clear coat just to protect that paint so it doesn't wash off. But other than that, there it is set upside in my flower garden area. I like it. It's weatherproof basically, it's tin. Thank you everybody for watching. You can follow me on Instagram at Tammy-Lou Breault. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. Hit that like button for this video, and don't forget that notification bell. It sure does help my channel out. Have a nice day. Bye.